Humble beginnings, a seed planted in Zaria. Apostle Joshua Selman was born on June 25, 1980, in the ancient city of Zaria, Kaduna State, but originally from Langtang North, Plateau State. Joshua Selman Nimak entered the world quietly, but his destiny was never meant to stay hidden. He was raised in a Christian home, steeped in the fear of God and reverence for spiritual things. His lineage spoke volumes. His grandfather was the first president of the Church of Christ in Nations, COSIN, a legacy of faith that flowed through generations. But it wasn't just his family name. There was a fire within him, even as a child, a deep hunger for more of God. A spark ignites young Joshua's encounter with God. During his secondary school years, young Joshua had a life-changing encounter. He gave his life to Christ, and not long after, received the baptism of the Holy Spirit. That moment marked the beginning of his personal walk with God, a journey that would shape nations. Unlike most teenagers, he wasn't drawn to distractions. Instead, he spent hours in prayer, in study, and in spiritual exercises that would later become the fuel of his ministry. The campus years, where purpose met preparation. When he enrolled to study chemical engineering at Ahmadu Bello University, ABU Zaria, many thought he was headed toward a scientific career. But God had other plans. On that very campus, his calling came alive. He began to minister with an unusual boldness. He wasn't a typical student. While others were reading for exams, he was preaching in lecture halls, holding small fellowships, and praying fervently with fellow students. There were testimonies, lives were being changed, and something was shifting in the spirit. He wasn't building a ministry, he was obeying a divine burden. After graduation, he served faithfully in the Vineyard of God in Samaru, Zaria, where he continued to mature spiritually. Little did he know, this was just training ground for something greater. The birth of a vision, Eternity Network International. In March 2011, after many years of personal encounters, preparation, and prophetic confirmations, Eternity Network International, ENI, was born. And with it came Koinonia. But Koinonia wasn't just a church service. It was a revival hub, a move of God. Every Friday night in Zaria, thousands gathered, young and old, hungry and desperate, not for entertainment, but for an encounter with God. It was a gathering of fire, worship, teaching, and prophecy. We didn't come to see a man, people would say. We came to meet with God. Through Koinonia Global, the vision spread like wildfire. Sermons traveled online, touching lives in Africa, Europe, America, Asia, and beyond. People who had never heard of Zaria began calling it a city of revival, expansion, and apostolic influence. In 2021, the vision expanded once again. Koinonia Abuja was launched, and once again, people came in droves. The hunger was real. Week after week, miracles, deliverances, and powerful teachings echoed through the halls of Koinonia. But this wasn't about hype. It was about transformation. And the man behind it. A humble vessel, refusing to touch the glory. The voice behind the pulpit, teachings and worship. Apostle Joshua Selman's teachings cut deep. They pierce religious routines and awaken hearts. He's known for powerful series like The Mystery of Altars, Spiritual Growth and Maturity, Kingdom Wealth Systems, Intimacy with the Holy Spirit, The Mystery of Deliverance. His voice doesn't just teach, it sings. Yes, he's also a worship leader. His spontaneous songs have become personal altars for millions. Songs like Sujana, Ebenezer, Your Goodness is Real, You Are Mighty, He Leads Me. These aren't just melodies, they're portals of presence. Books and written legacy. Though not a prolific author yet, his few written works carry deep revelation, such as Activating Breakthrough, A Call to Deeper Realms, Altars and Foundations, Accessing the Deep Things of God. These books equip believers, provoke revival, and stir intimacy with God. Global recognition and unforgettable moments. In 2018 and 2020, he was listed among Nigeria's 100 most influential Christian ministers, a recognition of his rising global impact. But one moment stands out. In May 2023, he and Pastor Nathaniel Bassey hosted the Sound of Revival Conference in Manchester, UK. The arena overflowed with over 21,000 people, worshiping, praying, and weeping before the Lord. It wasn't just a conference. It was a sign. God is raising Africa to the nations. The man behind the mic, personal life and focus. Despite his fame and growing influence, Apostle Selman is unmarried, a decision he's repeatedly said helps him stay laser-focused on his divine assignment. He lives a life of consecration, mystery, and simplicity. Rarely seen on social media. Rarely in the spotlight unless it's about the kingdom. While many speculate about his personal life, he remains anchored, saying only one thing matters: to finish his race faithfully. A voice still speaking. A story still unfolding. From the quiet streets of Zaria to the global stage. From dormitory prayers to citywide revivals. Apostle Joshua Selman is more than a preacher. He's a voice, a flame, a reminder that God still sends men. Your generation is waiting for you, he often says. Don't waste your encounter. And as thousands continue to gather weekly, on-site and online, one thing is clear. His story is still being written. And God is not done yet. Conclusion: share the fire. If this story inspired you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, subscribe. Let others encounter the God of Apostle Joshua Selman, and maybe, just maybe, their fire will be lit too. Watch out for Part 2.